Achievements made easy. Lag walkthroughs. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, back with part 3 of our Stranger Things the game achievement walkthrough. We are going to start chapter 2 here. Chapter 2 is one of the longest chapters in the game. We do a lot of side stuff in this one, so this is probably going to be a 45-minute to an hour portion, if not a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes, though. We did have some more trinkets unlock, but they're not really worth focusing right now, so we're not going to bother with it. If you want to mess around with them on your own time, feel free. Go ahead and walk over to the left and talk to Will. Skip through the text. We get our first 2 story quests for Chapter 2. And now we're going to go upstairs. And you may have remembered there was a hack chest in the study upstairs. We're going to go and open it up. Should get some money out of this one. That one does seem to be static to give you some money. And now we're going to head out to the southeast and outside of the house. Now walk down the street to the southwest. We're going to destroy everything as we go. This is why I like Dustin, because his attack kills everything in a line. So you can walk up here and kill 3 or 4 things at once. And that's why he's good for grinding the flowers in front of this house. This is the house I call the Gnome house. I'll show you where it is on the map. Again, it's at the very bottom west, or southwest plot on the, I guess, southeast block. Since we're here, we're going to go inside, but this is the grinding spot. So you can go inside and immediately pop back out, and all the flowers will be back. I do recommend using Dustin to grind. Once you get 11, 11 is also good, but her attack will destroy like 3 of the 4 flowers, whereas if you get right up, you can hit all 4 with Dustin, hit all 3, and then go back in and repeat the process over and over again. That's why it's pretty quick for grinding, especially once you get the coin trinkets. This is the Gnome house. We're going to talk to the guy in here and come open the chest for every 10 gnomes that we get. Go ahead and talk, or interact with the door, go through and talk to this first door here to get the, premise for the gnome quest. And now we're going to go inside here, and they work left to right. So this is the 50 chests over here, and this is the 10. We can open the 10. So open this chest and grab your materials. I think these are all consistent across playthroughs. So we got 1 of each drop item in this chest, and we're going to get the same things each run out of these if you do come back here on the other runs. We don't focus on gnomes on our second playthrough. Whenever you're ready, though, exit the house. We're going to exit to the world map. And then we're going to head to the Starcourt Mall. Immediately head to the southwest. You got to watch out for the parking block there. And by the wood wagon down here, you're going to see another gnome just hidden behind it. Go ahead and pick that gnome up. That's gnome number 11 of 50, Flynn, and the game has it as number 8. And now head northwest into this corner here, and you're going to run into some Russians. They are not hostile, so don't worry about them. In this back corner is another gnome. Gnome number 12 of 50, Doc. The game has it as number 3. Now follow the wall southeast to this door and hack the hack panel to open the door. And go inside. Be ready to attack immediately. You get attacked by a rat as you go through. You're going to exit to the southeast. You might get attacked by a rat in here, or 2. Feel free to kill them if you want. Oh, hey, there's 3. And then exit southwest and talk to Ivan. This is the Ivan the Smuggler quest line that unlocks an achievement, so that's why we're grabbing it here. Before we go anywhere, I'm going to head back into here and destroy some of these lockers, because it's a pretty easy place to get a bunch of items. As you saw there, we got like 5 rags. But when you're done, walk to the southeast down the hall, and we're going to enter southwest to get back into Scoops Ahoy. A scene will trigger when we walk in. You can skip the scene and then talk to Robin here. She should be here. If for some reason she's at the counter, you can talk to her at the counter. Also, you can walk in here and grab the ice cream scoop. That is a once-in-a-playthrough item that spawns in, I think, once Chapter 2 starts. It's not there in the introduction, and I don't think it's there in Chapter 1 either. But we're not going to be using it, but I'm going to point it out to you anyways. Talk to Robin wherever she may be in Scoops Ahoy. And she's going to ask us for some shake mix. So we're going to go into this back corner and pick it up. Back in the east corner. And now we're going to leave through the front entrance of Scoops Ahoy back into the mall. First things first, walk right around the car that's on display and interact with the boombox here to get the rock and roll cassette for the Ivan the Smuggler quest. And now we're going to head upstairs and around to the other side. Feel free to destroy items as you're going. We want to make sure we're getting a ton of money, because even though we do this, we do eventually run out of money. So, go down to this lady in front of Crimp and talk to her. This will get us a quest. So choose, I guess so. And go ahead, talk to her again. Go over to the gauze and buy one. You only need one. We may need two. Depending on if you're building trinkets or not, you may need more than that. But as far as what we specifically need, we only need one. If you want to buy a second, they're only 50 cents. So feel free to do that. That way you don't have to rely on drops if you're messing around with other trinkets and whatnot. Make sure you always have one gauze. It will be important later on. With that done, we're going to exit to the southeast. This is the top floor of the mall, so we can exit over here back to outside the mall. And then we're going to exit southeast again to the world map. And this time we're going to choose Hopper's cabin in the upper left corner. Walk up to Hopper and talk to him. Choose, hey, is 11 around? Don't spam through the text, because you'll just repeat that dialogue option over and over. When you get back to the menu, just hit buy. And now we're going to continue northwest. There's going to be a bunch of rats and a couple of rat nests here. And rats tend to be the enemies that don't drop items until their bodies disappear. So keep that in mind. At the fork, go to the northwest and follow it around to some rocks. We'll use Lucas's ability to get through and continue southeast. There's going to be more rats and a rat nest over here, so just be prepared. Grab whatever spoils have dropped for you and open up the hack chest. And now we're going to return to that fork we ran past. Once we get here, head northeast. You're going to have 2 or 3 rats along this path. There's the third one. And once you get to this fork here, which is kind of a southeast-northwest fork, we're going to head northwest and kind of hug the north wall. You're going to see some rocks over here, so we need to blow them up. Do watch out for rats coming to attack you from the northeast. And then head northwest to find some Russians back here. Much easier to deal with than rats with Dustin. That is Dustin's weakness. He doesn't kill things quickly, so the rats usually get attacks in on him. You're going to find 2 Molotov enemies here, so be careful heading into the corner. And once they are dead, one of them drops Hopper's padlock combination. So go ahead and pick that up. Don't walk into the burning spots. Those will cause you damage. And we're going to return back to where we came in. There's a rat's nest and a med kit to the northeast if you want to chance it. There's nothing else up there right now, though. So we're going to skip it for now. Return back southwest and to the fork. And then we're going to head southeast and then take... well, a left turn and head northeast. You're going to run into some more Russians up here. And you can open a chest up here. Again, those chests are mostly random. I do think most of them have items that are more likely to drop out of them, but most of the time you get the same type of items from them. Like, if we reloaded and tried that chest again, we'd probably get metal pipes in every combination that came out. Come back to the fork and head southeast and interact with the gate. And since we picked up the combination, we can get in. And we're going to walk to the house. Take a quick detour to the southwest to open the front door and gate so we don't have to backtrack if something goes horribly wrong. And then return and enter in, go around the house. There's a chest in the back we can open. For a second, I thought this was a hack chest, but it's not. So we can pick up everything that's inside of it. And now we're going to go into the cabin. Go ahead and talk to 11. This will update our quest. Then walk to the northwest, interact with the TV, and just choose the Silver Gals, the top option. If you need another medkit, there's one in the room down here, but we don't need it right now, so we're going to save it. We do come back to that room later on, and it will probably benefit us to leave it there. Interact with the fridge in the northeast, and pick up the ice cream. And then return down to 11 and talk to her. Choose the second option, I've got something for you, and give her the ice cream. And then talk to her again. I should give Elle a compliment. Whatever one you want, we're just going to choose the top option. Now head west into 11's room and pull the lever on the wall to turn off the lights. We're going to get called outside by Hopper, so we'll exit the cabin. Go ahead and talk to Hopper and skip through the dialogue. We'll be back in our basement. We're going to have to answer the phone. Choose the top option for continuity. My Nana is sick. Then press up on the D-pad so you switch back to Dustin. Now we're going to exit the house to the southwest here and head north-northwest over to Dustin's house. We're going to head into Dustin's room, down the hall to the north, and interact with his bed to get a swimsuit magazine for Ivan's quest. And now we're going to exit the house to the world map. Fastest exit is to the north here, so we're going to go around to the east and cut north. And this will get us to the world map. Now we're going to Hawkins Square. As soon as you walk in, head northeast into Melvald's. And we're going to talk to Mr. Melvald himself behind the counter. We have to buy a hairdryer to progress that side quest. So hopefully you have $10 on you. If not, you'll have to go grind some money at the Gnome house. Back out once you buy it and talk to him again. This will progress the story quest. Revenge of the Geeks. Actually, it might be a side quest. I apologize. He'll tell us that he has Ultra Lax in the back, but he just gives us the keys to go get it. There are a couple of rat's nests back here, so be careful. I think it's just one in this room. If you want to, you can pull the lever over here and turn on the lights. We can't go any further because we need Joyce for the door to our west, but we can pick up the Ultra Lax, and now we're good to go with that quest. We're going to exit out of the store now, or I'm going to run into Mr. Melvald while I'm trying to scroll down the rest of my walkthrough. Exit outside, head to the southeast, and the hardware store is now open. So we're going to go inside. Go ahead and talk to the guy behind the counter. This will give us the quest for the hardware store. I don't even remember what it's called. Rats in the walls. Head southeast, and you should see a gnome hat peeking out between the two shelves here. Pick up the gnome. That's gnome number 13 of 50, Marty. And the game also calls that gnome 13. And now we're going to enter the northwest room. There's no enemies in here to start, so I recommend running around and destroying everything, grabbing the nails. If you heard that, my cat just knocked over her water bowl, I think. Sorry about that. And then we're going to get attacked by a bunch of rats when we head into the corner. Go ahead and hit that green button in the corner to turn on the lights, and you can exit to the northeast. Okay, with that done, sorry, I had to go check on that noise. We're going to head to the northeast. We're going to get attacked by two rats, one from each side as we head down. Or, I'm sorry, two from each side as we head down. They'll be in front, and then two more from behind. Go ahead and kill them, wait for them to disappear in case they drop anything, and pull the lever down the hall. Now walk northeast towards the door to trigger text over your character's head, and then we gotta return to the owner. Go ahead and talk to the owner. And we're going to return to that door, but be careful as we come in. We are going to get attacked by like 8 rats or so. I think one of them is a goo rat, if we haven't covered goo rats yet. They're rats that are infected by the mind flayer. I just call them goo rats. There's the goo. Tiny goo rats aren't really that big of a... Or, I'm sorry, tiny goo puddles aren't really that big of a deal. All they do is trap you and slightly damage you. But if you get a bunch of them around, they can combine into bigger goo piles, and they are much more dangerous. With everything dead, you can destroy the rocks in the back. There is a chest back here that we can open. But we can't go through there until we get Joyce, so... With that section done, return to the front of the hardware store and talk to the guy behind the counter. This will unlock an achievement for you. The Rats achievement, number 7 of 31. For 15G, getting us to 120 out of 1000G total. And now he is open. And you can buy materials from him. We need to buy a flashlight. So go ahead and buy a flashlight. And exit to the southwest. On the streets, head to the northwest. And we're going to talk to the guy with the exclamation point over his head. Now he wants a flashlight, which is why we just bought one. So go ahead and talk to him again. And he's going to give you an REO speed shoe trinket, which makes you move faster. So we might as well equip it. I accidentally used a bomb there. My bad. There's the number showing you that we have one trinket we don't have equipped. We'll just equip the speed shoe there, and now we move slightly faster. We're going to go north from the gentleman that keeps giving us trinkets and enter the town hall. You're going to get a scene when you first walk in. Skip it. Now talk to the lady behind the counter, who looks curiously like the lady at Crimp who gave us the quest. But she's going to give us reward money and a piece of chewing gum for bringing that necklace to the mayor. Exit the building, and now we're going to head northeast across the street and into the Hawkins Post, where immediately we're going to get Nancy. So go inside, talk to Nancy, and she's going to join our party. This is the Cut It Out achievement will pop, number 8 of 31 for 30G, getting us to 150 out of 1000G total. I do recommend switching back to Dustin with Lucas as your second. And we're going to head north and east into the room here, but don't go into the conference room to our north yet. In the east corner, you'll see a gnome on the floor. That's gnome number 14 of 50, Magnum, and the game marks it as gnome number 37. Now we're going to enter the conference room. Just go through the dialogue. And then you're going to talk to each person in turn. Once all 4 of them have been talked to, you might not even have to talk to them. Because I'm going to tell you what the solution is anyways, but walk to the southwest here. In this first door, open it up to screw up Jonathan's negatives and grab a coffee filter that is on the ground in there for some reason. Now continue southwest and open this door, and you're going to find some ground coffee on the floor. We're going to use that for this quest. And now exit into the kitchen and interact with the coffee maker with the exclamation point over it. Use water from the tap, which is option number 1. Use the coffee filter. And use the ground coffee. Now we have to make coffee in each of these 4 mugs. So interact with the upper left mug here. We're going to go in order left to right. This is Sammy's coffee. For Sammy's coffee, we use regular coffee. Then we need 2 sugars and 2 creams. Interact with the next cup. This is Tom's coffee. We're going to use regular coffee, 2 sugars, and 2 creams. On to the next mug, this is Mac's coffee. We use decaf, no sugar, and 1 cream. And then for the final cup, this is Bruce's coffee. We're going to use regular coffee, no sugar, and no cream. Now head back to the conference room and interact with the first person here. And if you do well, you get rewarded with a coin purse. If you don't get this, it's not that big of a deal. It just makes coins more likely to appear. And what I think it means by that is it doesn't make coins more likely to appear as much as it does if coins appear, they tend to appear in bunches. But I'm not entirely sure. That's what it seems like it has been meant to me, but I could be wrong about that. Regardless, equip it. Don't fire bombs at the Hawkins Post members. I just wanted to double check that I had equipped it. And we're going to exit to the southeast room and interact with the phone on the east desk. Head back to the entrance hall, and the phone on the southern desk will be ringing. We're going to interact with it and answer it. And now return back to the room to the east, and the southernmost desk will have a ringing phone in here. This will update the story quest, and now we're going to return to Jonathan, apologize for the negatives, of course, because it's very rude, and then we'll talk to him. This will get Jonathan in our party. Just choose the top option. That unlocks the normal is boring achievement, number 9 of 31, for 30G, getting us to 180 out of 1,000. We're now going to exit back to the streets. And start walking southeast. Once we get over here, we're going to take the path northeast to the library and head inside. Talk to the receptionist. You're going to have some dialogue as you walk in, and then talk to the receptionist. Just go through all the dialogue, and she'll eventually cave to us children. We're going to head northwest, then northeast and southeast, and you're going to be attacked by 2 Russians in this room. I forgot to switch back to having Lucas as my partner, so let's fix that. Exit southeast again to get attacked by a stronger single Russian. Exit southeast again for 1 more knife Russian. Then exit southwest for 2 more Russians in this room. First, interact with the southernmost shelf. This will get the 16 Molotovs VHS for Ivan's quest. Then walk to the west, and just below the TV, you'll see a gnome hat here. This is gnome number 15 of 50. Jack, the game has it marked as gnome number 7. Exit to the northeast and head to the east corner and exit northeast again to reach the library basement. Walk northeast and ignore the light switch here. We're going to pull both switches to the right of this door. So pull this and pull that. That will open the southeast door. There's going to be some rats as we go through, so go ahead and just be prepared for rats in every room we enter. Hit the green button on the wall and exit southeast. Hit the green button on the northeast wall and enter northeast to find a rat's nest. And with all the rats dead, pick up any of your spoils and walk to the northeast wall to see 5 levers here. So I'm going to number them 1 through 5 from upper left down to lower right. We're going to pull switches 3 and 4 first. So there's 3 and there's 4. Now walk southeast, kill some rats in here. And then enter the northeast room here to find a hack chest. That's our first full inventory slot. There's nothing we can do about that right now. Eventually, we do get the option to sell items once we finish the Ivan the Smuggler quest, but it's not really worth it. You're better off just remembering where items may be, making a note of it somewhere on a notepad or in your phone, whatever you want to do. Because Ivan sells or will buy them from you for like 1/10 of their price, so it's not really worth it. It's better to just keep the items on the ground and come back for them if you do need them. With rags, we probably won't need to anyways because we get a ton of them. Exit southwest and northwest back into the lever room. And we're going to pull number 2. This will reset the switches. Then we're going to pull number 2 again and pull number 5. We're going to exit to the southwest and then southeast. Again, be cautious of rats as we're going through. There's going to be a chest in this room to open. And then exit southwest. There might be a rat in here as well. Yes, there is. And another chest to open. And now we're going to return to the room with all the levers. Pull switch number 3. And now we're going to pull number 2 and number 3. And we're done in this section. So exit to the southwest and northwest again back to this main room. Now we're going to go to the left set of switches, pull one of them, this will reset everything, and now pull both levers on the left side of the door and exit to the northwest. Again, watch for rats as we head northwest. There's a green button here to press and exit northwest. We'll kill the rat in here. Press the green button on the northeast wall and exit northeast. There's just a couple of rats in here. Go ahead and destroy them and pick up your spoils, and then you'll notice 5 more switches on the northeast wall. We're going to pull 3 and 4. Exit to the northwest. There's going to be a chest to open in here. And then exit northeast, watch for rats, and you can hack the hack chest. Exit southwest and southeast back to the levers. Pull number 2 so that everything resets, and then pull number 2 again and pull number 5. Exit to the southwest and then to the northwest. Again, watch for rats as we're going through. There's a chest in this first room to open, and then there's a chest in the southwest room and some more rats to kill. Man, they're giving us a ton of rags. And now we're full on duct tape as well. Exit northeast and then southeast. Then northeast again, back to the 5 levers room. Pull lever number 1. This will reset everything. Pull lever number 1 again, and pull lever number 4, and you should get a scene of the door opening in the main room. Exit to the southwest, we're going to return to that room, then exit southeast, and southeast again, and exit to the northeast, and in the eastern northeast corner there is a book on the floor. This will update the Codebreakers quest, and now we can exit the library back to the upper floor and all the way out to the Hawkins Square. Once outside, we're going to start walking southeast. When we get in front of the flower shop here, we're going to get stopped for a side quest. Go ahead and walk inside. This is Pedal Pushers. Go straight to the northeast here. There are 2 doors here. The northern one has some text over it. Go ahead and interact with it. And choose the top option. Now, go to the north other corner, the other side of this divider, and there's a door on this wall we're going to open. There's nothing of real value in here except things to destroy, so work your way around. And then hack the hack pad on the back wall. In the next room, you may get attacked by a rat or 2. When you're ready, hit the green button on the back wall. Then exit to the northwest, and you're going to get a rat's nest back here. I have had a rat come through that and attack me in the other room, which is why I warned you. We're just killing them for safety. Exit to the southeast, and then to the northeast. No, another rat's nest in here, so go ahead and take care of it. And on the back wall there, you see a note on the floor. Pick it up. And we're going to return to that first room that the person is trapped in. Interact with the door. Now exit to the southeast. And enter the south door here. There's going to be another reminder note in here. So now we just return back to that door in the entrance room. Talk to her again. We're going to continue into this east hallway down the hall. When we get to this door, we're going to go inside. And just kind of work your way around the room, destroying things, and you will eventually come to another note on the ground. There it is. So go back to the door again. She throws a key out the door to us somehow. We're going to pick it up and head back to that first area we went to with the rat's nest. Go ahead and interact with that. You can try turning the bear statue if you want to, but I think it resets. So we will be coming back here for a puzzle later on. Feel free to turn the bear, I believe, to the leaves there. We're going to try it, but I think it resets when we leave. So in the back room, you'll see the flower shop key, which will allow you to open the door that girl is trapped in. So return to the entrance room here, and then talk to the door again. And that finishes the quest after we talk to her. That unlocks the Little Shop of Flowers achievement, number 10 of 31, getting us 15 G and 195 out of 1,000 G total. We can't do anything else in here, so we're going to exit back to the square. And there's nothing else for us to do in town. So follow the road to the southeast to eventually exit to the world map. We're going to head back to the Starcourt Mall. Head to the west, going back around the side of the mall to that entrance we went through earlier. Again, you'll be attacked by rats when you enter. And watch for rats in this next room. And then exit southwest and talk to Ivan. This will turn in the Ivan the Smuggler quest, popping an Honest Living achievement, number 11 of 31 for 15G, getting it a 210 out of 1000G total. Pick up the items that Ivan drops, and now he is a shop where you can sell anything you have too much of, excuse me. So as you can see, we have more wire spools and rags than we know what to do with, as well as duct tape. We're just going to sell one of each. That allows us to pick up an extra. We're not going to use that many of any of those things, so only sell things if you are maxed on them, and I only recommend selling one. The money isn't really worth it, because we could actually just buy another duct tape, or sell another duct tape there. I'm going to make a quick detour into this locker room again, because it is a great place to grind. And with that done, we're going to exit southeast down the hallway back into Scoops Ahoy. Go ahead and talk to Steve. That updates the Code Breakers quest. And now go behind the counter and talk to Robin. And she'll drop the Scoops shake for us, which is the special shake. Exit Scoops Ahoy to the southwest, back into the mall. And we're going to head southeast, up the escalator. I know I dropped some money there, but I can't be bothered. Go all the way around, and this time, instead of going further, we're going to go into Claire's. Walk up to the counter here, and depending on how much money you have, we're going to buy a couple of things here. First, we're going to buy 4 scrunchies if you can. At the very least, buy 1 scrunchie. If you can't afford to buy anything else, buy 1 scrunchie, and you'll have to come back and get the rest of these later. But if you can afford it, buy 4 scrunchies, and buy a charm bracelet. Go ahead and back out here. And then we're going to exit the mall to the southeast. And once we get outside, we're going to have a scene. Go ahead and skip it. This will unlock the But Boyfriends Do achievement, which is achievement number 12 of 31 for 15G, getting us to 225 out of 1000G total. We're going to switch back to Dustin, and now exit to the southeast. We're going back to the Hawkins suburbs. Then head north and follow the road northeast until we enter the pool again. Walk southeast, and as you approach the entrance, you'll be stopped by Chet there to give him the super shake. That will spawn a scene, but we don't need to watch that. Head to the east and interact with the girl in blue over here to give her the hairdryer, and she reimburses us for that. That pops the Shake Things Up achievement, number 13 of 31 for 15G, excuse me, getting us to 240 out of 1000G total. And now we're going to exit the pool. Outside of the pool, head south, and then southeast along the road to get to the world map, and we're going to head to the Driscoll farm. This is where you get introduced to the goo piles for real. Again, the goo piles by themselves aren't bad. If 2 of them are next to each other, they can fuse into what I call a combined goo pile that can attack you. So they're much more dangerous. There are also large goo piles, which again aren't very threatening, but they can merge into a large combined goo pile, which is very dangerous. Um, there's not a whole lot to say about them. Treat them like any other melee enemy. Try to attack them and back off while you have Lucas and Dustin. And we'll develop more strategies once we unlock the later characters. But for now, walk northeast and talk to Doris at the front of the house. Choose the top option, and then enter the house. First, walk north into the kitchen and interact with the sink. That's our first clue. Exit the kitchen and head south into the southeast corner here and enter this door. Interact with the pink armoire. This is clue number 2. Head northeast and open the southeast door here for the bathroom. Interact with the dead rat. That is clue number 3. And enter the northeast door to go down into the basement. Kill the rat down here. And as you walk around, you'll trigger this dialogue. You might have to walk towards the shelf. I'm not sure exactly which direction. Go ahead and pick up the fertilizer bag and head southwest to get back upstairs and talk to Mrs. Driscoll. Choose the top option, and then exit to the southwest. And we're going to work our way northeast. There's going to be a bunch of rats littering the area, so just be cautious as you make your way northeast. There are rats' nests in here, so I wouldn't worry about trying to kill every enemy. You're going to want to get to the front door here and then head southeast, and you'll get to a little maze over here. It's very simple, so don't worry about it too much, but you do need to have energy to get through it. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this rat nest so that we're not harassed by them. Once you're safe, break the rocks here. And then we're going to break this one. And work your way around. You might get attacked by a couple of rats, so don't worry about that gnome. We'll be grabbing him in a minute. Work your way to the back in the northeast corner, and there is a gnome back here. This is gnome number 16 of 50, McDonald. The game marks it as number 11. Now return back through the maze the way we came, and go back towards the shed and head inside. I think it's a barn, actually. Immediately head northwest in the barn and exit out this door. Walk northeast, and then follow the fence to the southeast to return to that gnome we saw before. That's gnome number 17 of 50, Denver, and the game marks it as gnome 15. Now head back into the barn. If you want to, the third pen along the southeast wall here has a unique item in it. I think it's the hammer. I don't remember whose special. It might be Mike's that it helps with. I can't remember. It's not really worth it for our playthrough, but if you want to grab it, destroy the rock and get it. Otherwise, head to this fourth one and position your partners to open the door and walk inside for a scene. This is where the game shows you the goo piles. I think either option works here. I always choose the first one. First, walk inside and kill this goo pile, because it might drop you some health. Now head to the northwest and be careful. There's going to be a bunch of goo rats, I call them. And as you can see, that one combined into a pile, and it's much more durable and can attack you. You kind of want to focus on one enemy at a time and try to kill the goo pile that comes out so that they don't combine with each other. Just ignore the enemies and exit to the southeast, but be prepared. This entire yard is now littered with all sorts of enemies. So head southeast and get back into the house. There are enemies in here too, So just be careful, but they aren't quite as vicious as the ones that were outside. There is one combined goo pile that was in the bathroom. But take a breath here. You're going to want to be prepared because we have our first boss fight up here. On easy difficulty, it's not all that difficult, but do be ready. Walk to the northeast here, and we can enter the northeast room, and this is where the boss fight's going to happen. We get attacked by Mrs. Driscoll, and you're going to want to keep an eye on your health bar and your partner's in here. Make sure you are capable of healing when your partner's health gets low. There are going to be med kits that drop. There are destroyable items that you can destroy and have like the heart that slightly restore your health in them. So just keep an eye on your health bars as you're going through. On this difficulty, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Walk in. Mrs. Driscoll's going to attack us. The idea behind this fight is that there are 2 levers on the northwest and northeast wall, one on each wall. We have to flip the levers so that the lights turn on, and that will stun Mrs. Driscoll, and she will no longer be invincible. So what we're going to do is walk up and destroy, or pull that first level on the northwest wall, and then pull the second one, and hurry over to her, and just spam attack on her. Again, if you see your health going down, heal yourself. So we're going to do that. But after about a third of her health goes down, she's no longer capable of being hurt. But, as I've already mentioned, your partner is a tank. Let your partner take the aggro, and you can just kind of clean up around the edge and work your way around to the levers. The goo piles do spawn continuously, so I don't recommend worrying about them too much. But pull the levers, go back to Mrs. Driscoll, and spam attack on her. Again, don't hold on to medkits. Use them if you need to. We can buy more. We're going to go ahead and pull that other lever, and we're just going to run and spam attack on Mrs. Driscoll until she dies. That'll be all 3 phases. And once you're done, run around, pick up any medkits that you didn't get. Feel free to use them to fully heal yourself. If there's anything left on the ground, you can make a note of it and come back for it later if you want to, but medkits aren't all that expensive. Once you're done, you're going to head southwest, back upstairs, walk around the corner into the kitchen and kill any enemies you didn't kill your first time up here, and interact with the phone. And now we're going to exit to the southwest, and again exit southwest to the world map. Return to Hawkins Square, and we have to go back to the Hawkins Post. So follow the road northwest, and then as it turns northeast, we're going to follow it straight to the Hawkins Post. Go inside and you'll get a couple of scenes here. We're going to skip them. We'll end up back in Mike's basement, which I think is the greatest place to go after you get fired from your job while you're a teenager. Yeah, let's go back to my brother's basement. Woo! But anyways, that is the end of Chapter 2, folks. We have now moved on to Chapter 3. As always, if you have any questions or comments for me, reach out to me and I'll do my best to answer them. But if not, I will see you guys as we continue into Chapter 3.